All right, let's have a look at gamma 23.05, question 3. Now, we've got a really interesting question here about fractions. It says 1,000 kilometers is about 5/8 of a mile. We're going to say it's exactly 5/8. I'm not going to deal with about. Use this relationship for the following conversions. All right, and it says write 1.5 kilometers as a fraction of a mile. And then later, well, let's do the first bit first, okay? So, well, first of all, let's explore that relationship a little bit. So we've got 1,000 meters is equal to 5/8 of a mile. Okay, so 1,000 meters. Well, I'm going to turn this into kilometers. So in other words, 1 kilometer is equal to 5/8 of a mile. I'm going to put mi for mile there, yeah? So if we wanted to find out what the relationship between not kilometers to miles, but miles to kilometers, we could just simply use a little bit of algebra and do a bit of cross multiplication. So I got 1 kilometer is equal to 5/8 times mi for mile. Let's just cross multiply. So I'm going to have 8 times 1 kilometer. That's going to be 8 kilometers is equal to, I got 1 times 5 is going to be 5 miles. So we know that 8 kilometers does in fact equal 5 miles. Well, that's also interesting to know. What else do we know? Well, let's say we were then to say, well, if 8 kilometers is 5 miles, how many kilometers is 1 mile? Well, if I divide this by 5, and I divide this by 5, 5 divided by 5 is 1. So I got 1 mile, and 1 mile is equal to 8/5, the reciprocal, in fact, of the 5/8 we had before. So I've got a few relationships here which we can work out in terms of being fractions. So here they are. So we've got 1 kilometer is 5/8 of a mile. We know that 8 kilometers is 5 miles. And we know that 8/5 of a kilometer is equal to 1 mile. So we can just use a bit of algebra there to sort that out. Well, let's have a look at the question now. And it says, first one says, what am I looking at? Oh, here we go. Write 1.5 kilometers as a fraction of a mile. So we know that 1 kilometer is 5/8 of a mile, but this is 1.5. It's 50% more. It's half as much again. So if 1 kilometer, and I'll write that, 1 kilometer is equal to 5/8 of a mile, yeah, 1.5 kilometers must equal 5/8 of a mile plus half as much again, half times 5/8. So we've got our 5/8 plus half of 5/8, 1 kilometer and half a kilometer, 1 mile and half a mile. So what does all that come to in terms of miles? Well, we've got 5/8 plus a half times 5/8 is going to be 5 and 2 8 is 16. All right, let's change everything to 16. That's going to be 10/16 plus 5/16. And that's going to equal, well, that's going to be 15/16. Nice and easy. So in other words, 1.5 kilometers equals 15/16 of a mile. All right, let's look at the next bit. In fact, I'll do the next bit in the next video.